start in a few seconds. So here we go. All right.
No worries, still.
Cool. All right. So this is Clint from the Doorway 2, talking to Sydney Fate, all the way over in the UK right now. So it's like midnight their time. I know I'm talking to Bailey, and is it Yeon? I'm not sure how to say the.
It's quite a tricky one. It's a Yayan.
Yeah. Okay. I knew I would butcher it, but at least I got close.
No, that's a solid effort. I appreciate that.
Nice.
I was trying. Anyway, thank you for doing this. I really do appreciate it, guys. Really impressed with the record, so that's kind of why I wanted to do this. First question I'm going to ask, and I kind of hate this term, so I kind of want to get your feedback on it. I see the word alt metal for you guys all the time, and it seems like term. So what does that mean to you? Because me, when I listen to the record, I hear metalcore, guys. Like, that's really what I hear. Like, more than anything, I do not hear anything alt metal about you. So,
yeah, no, that's a good question. I mean, it's we're you're definitely right. There's definitely our roots lie within metalcore. We all grew up on, metalcore bands. It's in our blood, especially like coming from South Wales as well, with so many amazing bands coming, like Bullet from a Valentine, for example.
Yeah.
You know, it is sort of bred into us from a young age. But I mean, we're all about exploring music at the moment, and I think, especially in some of the newer stuff we're working on, it's just trying to get more. We're diving into different genres and just kind of stealing best bits, kind of making an alternative stance within metal. So yeah, it's
like a desire not to pigeonhole ourselves too soon, I guess. I don't know.
That's a good way to be.
Yeah.
Well, so it's not just me when I hear the term alt metal. That sounds really strange because
we get that quite a lot for sure.
So many bands just use alt metal, including us, as like this sort of thing to hide behind. It's like, I guess we're just going to work on this and try and be like as broad musically as possible, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. We just write music, and whatever comes, and like we just hope for the best. And so it's just alternative. It's just mixed. It's a bit
absolutely
fun.
Cool. So I'll wait for him to come back. Not a problem.
Sorry, but
I'm so sorry.
So I kind of want to talk about the two vocalists because it's a very dynamic kind of mix. And I kind of wanted to see, was it all along that one was going to be much more melodic and one was more guttural, or did it just kind of happen that way? Like, give me a little history on the band on like the vocals are so dynamically different. So
yeah, no, I appreciate that. Like, thank you for picking up. I mean, by 2017, I started up the band again. We'd been off for like a few years, and I just had myself. We had a bass player, Turner, who's now our bass player again, which is brilliant. A drummer, Macaulay, and Dominic Evans on guitar. But we were off to Swansea to record 2 demos that we started, and we went out the night before for a few drinks. And I kind of knew Adam anyways from friends of friends, and when we're going out in the town, because we grew up in Caerphilly. It's not really it's not really a big town. It's quite a small place. And we were talking, having a few drinks, and he was like, "Oh, have fun tomorrow when you're recording." And he was like, "Oh, don't tell anybody, but I actually do a bit of screaming myself." And I was like, "No, shut up," because he didn't tell anyone. And he was like, "Look, I can show you." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I was like, "Oh, I got a better idea. Wait, don't show me. Come up. Our music could do with a bit of screams. We could have a bit of a jam. Come down for the day and have a bit of a laugh." And so he said, yeah. And obviously it was just a bit of drunk banter. But the last day of recording, he actually shows up. He caught a train for like 2 hours. We met up, and he stood in the recording booth, and he just kind of like let it rip. And none of our friendship group or any friends, his family, they've never heard him. He's been very secretive about it. And he just let off these sort of roars, and like we knew just from them, we were like, yeah, like we don't want this to be temporary. Like this should be a permanent thing, man. And he was like, yeah, no, this is gonna be cool, man. And it kind of just set that sort of love for like the dynamic between us. And I think the more we jammed, because I had already written a few songs, and we become like a more we had a solid lineup by 2018 in December. That's where we released the EP, and we were working on these songs together, and it was like, oh, if I do something here, you can come in here and just, kind of blast it with a different sort of, a different feeling and a different vibe, just to try and get that sort of mixed. And working with Adam is awesome. He's a great vocalist, and like obviously a really good friend of mine. And
I like Adam too,
yeah, we all like Adam. But yeah, I mean, I think we just got like sort of dynamic chemistry anyway, so it's always fun. to kind of present that through music too, which is pretty sweet to be able to do.
Cool. So I'm gonna ask a couple questions on the kind of sound that I hear, and I want to see if I'm on the same page or not. So I hear a lot of like melodic death metal, post-hardcore stuff mixed into what you're doing, and the kind of the bands that kind of like ring out to me right away are like Asking Alexandria, like Memphis May Fire. Like I hear those kind of elements that are really like where the melodic and the really aggressive kind of mix and intermingle. And I kind of want to see, do you feel more akin to like the old hardcore vibes? Because I almost feel like you all grew up as hardcore kids. Like that's kind of the vibe that I feel. So,
I mean, I don't really know. It's definitely like a lot of emo and and I guess a lot of the hardcore is filtered through other bands, more like Butterfly Valentine and Trivium, because they were definitely inspired by hardcore, and we were inspired more so by them than like a lot of the old school hardcore bands, I guess.
Sure.
So like, I guess it's like a second generation vision of that almost.
Yeah, and
like the grandchildren of
the more post-hardcore side, because that's kind of what I see. You know, I kind of see the second wave of like, you know, the more melodic, the more emo hardcore stuff. I totally agree with that. So good. Then my ears aren't failing me. That
No, you're on the money, mate.
I feel pretty good about that. Cool. So as far as like melodic death metal, do you guys listen to much of it all? Because you guys have it's not a Swedish Gothenburg thing, but it's a very much a European kind of like mellow death kind of guitar tone. And
yeah, so we have 7 members of us, and we all have different kind of music that, you know, that we prefer, and like, you know, we all jam to different genres. And I think because there's so many of us, it gives us like a really good opportunity to explore different sort of aspects of different genres. Like I said previously as well, you kind of steal the best parts and chuck them in. And Adam listens to a lot of sort of death metal, black metal music, which is really cool, which is like quite good to have like more of a maybe poppy side from myself, because I grew up on like Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Iron Maiden. You know, that's where my heart lies, you know, deep down. And so kind of like to take some stuff from that, and like with the more modern stuff too. So yeah, there's definitely signs and like sort of influences from a little bit of everywhere. I definitely agree with that.
Cool. So I'm going to talk about the 2 videos now, because they almost have like a yin and yang kind of vibe to me. Like the first, so I know where I'm coming from, man. That's awesome.
You spot on with all of these, man. It's nice. It's wicked.
So the title of the first song is it Descenda?
Yeah, perfect. Descenda.
Okay. Yeah. So that seems much more of the darker side, where the Sound Alive has that more poppy, upbeat kind of vibe to it, where they've done purpose like back and forth so people could see both sides of the band. Or
yeah, for sure. I mean, you're spot on again with that. So like a lot of our songs represent, you know, certain times in our lives where we're feeling certain ways. It's kind of to say, look, no matter what you're going through, you know, we've been there, we understand. And for us, I mean, Descender especially, it's kind of a song about the battle between, or the conflict between good and evil, like you said, but within your own mind, and how you sort of represent yourself around, and, you know, surround yourself with those sort of people too. I mean, like the first sentence is, lately I've been fighting wars with the demons in my head, and that's kind of like we wanted to go in and just create like a visual representation through music. And there's definitely good and there's definitely bad. I mean, having 2 vocalists as well, given the opportunity to both pitch in with certain lyrics too, it gives us a bit more of a dynamic outlook on it, if that makes sense, where we can look from the good and the bad side and be like, right, so in this chorus we're gonna be doing this, and then Adam will come in, all right, yeah, cool, maybe, and we'll have a breakdown.
It allows to push like further extremes in either direction as well.
For sure, it definitely opens up a few opportunities.
Yeah,
for us,
because
which is cool.
I mean, I've seen a lot of vocalists manage to do like insane screams and insane singing, but it's like it's such a unique skill. So like having someone who's really good at this and really good at this is also very unique and kind of beneficial, and allows for these breathless areas of music where it's like there's no breath space.
Yeah, like that sort of continuation, which is good. But when it compared the sort of songs like Sound Alive and Descender, so Descender's more about like inner conflict, realization, your surroundings. I'd say Sound Alive, then it was like for me it was a breakup song. It was me coming to terms with stuff. As lame as that may sound, it's the truth. It's how I cope with things. You know, I think music's very therapeutic. I think everyone in life should enjoy some music every now and then. Do you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
It's good for the soul. But for sure. But yeah, so I mean, Sound Alive is more about overcoming that feeling on your way to better terms. You know, saying to yourself, yeah, okay, this has happened, but we're gonna progress and move on. And then to send us more of that. It's just that sort of conflict. There's no real outcome to it. It's
like wallowing. It's just wallowing. There's no like real outcome. You just eventually stop wallowing, or you keep wallowing more.
It's a to be continued sort of thing for sure. It's a continuous sort of battle, I guess. So there's definitely, and I think as the songs go on as well, they all touch different subjects, and I think they definitely have their own characteristics as well, which is pretty cool.
Cool, awesome. So you guys are probably the two ones I shouldn't ask this question to, but I kind of wanted to ask it anyway. So as I'm listening through the record, the guitar and the bass tones kind of change as the vocalist sings. So I've noticed that there's a much more melodic time when you're singing versus there's a much more down-tuned picking kind of faster tremolo kind of vibe on the bass and guitar, while Adam is kind of doing his thing as well too. And like I said, like, was that written that way? Because it almost sounds like the tones change drastically for the different vocal parts.
So there's actually a good reason for that. When I originally wrote the album, obviously I was a guitarist and vocalist at the time. So when it came to my parts, I tried to come up with something a bit more simple, a bit more poppy and like pushy like this. And when it come to Adam coming into then doing his vocals, it gave me an opportunity to kind of go a little bit more wild, explore a lot of heavy chugs, and there was room for me to actually go a bit further with regards to the actual sound and the music I could play. And then when I come back to myself, then I play maybe a few leads with something a bit simple and something melodic, so to catch the sort of attention, if that makes sense. Just something to help.
I guess from the producers you worked with at the time, Sam and Joe Graves.
Yeah,
they're like amazingly talented guys, and they like picked up on that and like obviously kind of brought that through tonally as well.
Cool, awesome.
Yeah, of course, and obviously with like the guitar performances as well, Domino and totally smashed it.
Oh yeah, they did a really good job, man. Like they're phenomenal, and then we can't thank them enough. Really, they're actually wicked guys.
Cool. And then I was going to kind of ask, because it's great to have you as a synth player like on, because it's like we don't normally get to talk to this side of it, and I'm kind of I'm in a doom death band, and I play keyboards, guitar, and bass, and do death growls too. So your keyboards are so much more of an element of the music. It's not in your face, kind of like the way the keyboards go. So I kind of wanted to ask, like, in future releases, is it going to be more keyboard heavy, or are you going to stay where it's more of like just an overview of the entire picture of the music? Because it's almost like you're painting colors with the keyboards on what's going on. So
yeah, I joined just after recording that, so I think a lot of what you must be hearing is just Sam and Joe Graves being like absolutely amazing producers and doing absolutely wonderful work with their guitars, because how they process guitars is absolute magic.
Yeah, like they're wizards.
No, but it is absolute wizardry. Like there are times where I was listening to it and I was like, no, someone programmed that. but no, they're absolutely amazing. But some of the stuff we're working on now, we're trying to do a bit of both. So sometimes we want to go to like these ultimate extremes where it's like, I say ultimate extremes, not so much, but like very combined, and like, you know, have 808s as well as like palm muted guitars, you know, and breakdowns, like a lot more like lead lines, this, that, and the other. But also at the other end of that, we're looking to still do like this traditional straight up metalcore song still, but obviously a bit of a twist here and there with like sub drops, 808s. Cool. I feel like,
no, that makes sense.
Definitely more.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
We're excited about the new stuff too. Like, can't wait.
No, for sure. Yeah, we've got like a lot of crazy demos.
It's nice.
That's it. Like, I have way too much stuff. I mean, like, listen back in a few months and be like, actually, half of this is useful.
Yeah, 50% will be good, man. That's it. That's all that matters. So it's
cool.
Something.
Awesome. So I have a friend of mine that listened to the record with me, and his description of yours is something I need to tell you, because it made me laugh. Okay. This is a guy that comes from like extreme death metal. Like, I mean, literally like old school Tampa guttural death metal. So like he said you were the poppiest metalcore band that loved and loved death metal that he has ever heard in his life. And it just made me chuckle. So I wanted to ask you, if you had 4 words to describe what your sound is to somebody who's never heard you before, what 4 words would you guys use?
No, that's on you.
That's a great question, that. Yo, that's on the spot, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go with really cool sounding noise.
Okay.
And that's it. I'm gonna stay that distant. I'm gonna let them explore. You're gonna want more from that. What does this mean? I need to check it out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just kind of like, it's literally kind of pop structured metalcore, really.
Okay.
It's just we kind of write. It's kind of in the moment. It's like, however you're feeling at the time, it's just like, right, how do I translate this into music? And it's with like the Iron said earlier on, with the new stuff, it's like it's quite synth heavy now, which is quite nice. We're exploring different sort of sounds, and yeah, I mean, I hope within the new stuff we can get a lot more of that, a lot more pop, a lot heavier at the same time, a lot more harmonies, as I like to say.
Yeah, no, of course. I guess it's like contrast as well is what creates tension and dynamics and feeling. Like timbre is like a huge impact of how like people emote to music.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. No, perfect. So I'm going to ask you flat out, how the hell did you sign to Eclipse Records? Like, you're halfway across the world from them. Did they pick up a demo tape by accident somewhere? Or did they come over to Europe and see you? Like, how did this happen?
So we were actually quite fortunate. I mean, so once we recorded the EP, obviously we set out to plan like an album. We were working quite hard at the time. We gigged like across the UK for most months of the year. We were having a great time as well doing so. But we were thinking about our next step. What can we do? Where do we want to go? What's our sort of plan? And we kind of sat down and thought, right, well, to progress, we need to do this. We need to do this. That we need to speak to these people, do this. And we were planning. We booked in for the album recording and some music videos. So we did a bit of research on record labels. We narrowed a few down. We were looking more into sort of like the values, what they stand for, what they represent, what they want to do. And for us, it's always been about, progression. We've always been like quite good with, we've always wanted some, to make sure we maintain our creative control as well. And just wanted to fit in somewhere that's kind of has like a family feel to it, if that makes sense, that sort of vibe. So we did some research on labels, and I actually sent a demo to Chris. I think it was Sound Alive at the time. Yeah, it must have been Sound Alive. Yeah. And I sent it to a few other places as well. A few months later, I didn't hear anything. So it's like, it's okay, back to the grind. It's, that's just fine. And then out of the blue, he actually sent me an email saying, hey, just check this out. Would you like a chat? Have you got any more stuff? And we're like, yeah, we got like an EP. So we sent him over some details. We set up like a Skype call. We had a conversation. And it was really nice. He's just like the coolest guy ever, because he's so about the bands and getting involved, and he's just like this person that's got so much like knowledge, and it's just, you can feed on it and just feed on it, and no matter what, he'll always still have more to provide for you. And he's such a good guy. He's always there if you got any questions too. But yes, we kind of took it from there, and he was like, yeah, we want to do something with this, and let's get something going. We're just grateful. After a few conversations, we kind of just put it in the bag and shook the hands. And
nice.
Today, yeah, it's true. That's the story, man.
Yeah, he is super cool. I'm not saying he's not, like, he, even on like my end, when I work with him for other artists doing promotions and stuff like that, he's always so hand-on, making sure things get done. So yeah, I can see the love and the respect for what he's doing.
Sure, he's really good at what he does too.
Just quite a lot of work, and I said quite a lot of work. Sorry, he's always on it.
Yeah, he is. He's constantly just working, but he always makes time for you too, which is like just super cool, man. That's all we were looking for, is someone to help us progress to the next level, but have that family feel, which he just does. So it was just the right move for us. For sure.
Chat.
Yeah.
So is it going to be a couple of records you're going to do with him, or did you just sign for the one?
So we're currently discussing our next sort of step now at the moment. So yeah, at the moment it's just the one, but that's cool. But we've got a discussion planned at the end of the year, which we're quite excited about. We've got some really cool ideas, and we have like a plan of where we want to do, what we want to do and we want to be, and things are going well at the moment. So
of course, it's got like
So
a roadmap and we're trying to stick to it.
Yeah,
it's
for
like
sure.
if we diverge, plan from there again. And
Cool.
keep going.
So that's what I was going to ask. How has the response been all over the world? Has there been one place that it's kind of the record's kind of taken off more than the other? Is there places that you're getting a better feedback from? Like, I just kind of always wonder when a band puts their first record out. I've done it too. Like, you kind of look and see where it's really hitting and not. So
yeah.
It's been like kind of tricky for us to tell really, because we haven't really been allowed to go outside much and like really get a feel of what everything is. So yeah, no, it's just kind of like.
I mean, as far as socials go, like thank God Spotify lets us know too. So throw this at you. I mean, America, we got quite a few streams and stuff, which is absolutely brilliant. UK as well. I think that's cool because we get to tour a lot. Well, obviously not through COVID and all that.
Soon, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. Like we're in talking to a few venues at the moment about the potential possibility of actually getting some shows in as soon as everything goes back to normal. But yeah, so far the response has been amazing. Like a lot of people still message us now, and it's so warm to like have that feeling with someone. It's like, oh, you know, I listened to this in the car, and oh, you're doing a great job. And I'm just like, oh, sweet, yeah, wicked. Thank you for. It's a bit surreal. I think it's actually kicked in for us just yet, if I'm honest. It seems a bit unreal. But as soon as it does, I'm sure I'm going to be like, you know, just insane with joy and stuff. But I'm enjoying it at the moment, which is awesome.
Yeah, and I totally know nobody can tour. I mean, I'm in Arizona, and it's one of the biggest hotspots for COVID in the entire world. So, yeah, so I mean, I completely get where you're going. If you could tour with anybody, like who would you want to go out with?
Oh, that's such a good question. You know who I'd pick straight away, don't you?
I do, yeah. I think someone like Ask Alexandra could be a good shout, maybe.
Yeah, I like them too. They're really cool.
That'd be a good match.
I like. I see one of my favorite bands at the moment is Bring Me the Horizon. I think what they're doing currently is absolutely insane. Nice. I mean, they're really exploring, like, you know, they're just pushing their music at the moment, and they recently released the Parasite Eve too, which is absolutely fantastic. And I just think the lyrics are absolutely phenomenal, and they captured like a really important time in history, I think, at the moment, and to be able to sort of present their sort of thoughts and emotions on it within a track, within like a 5-minute track, is absolutely insane, and I think they absolutely smashed it. So I'm a huge fan. I have been for like most of the albums, which is class. So.
Well,
yeah,
they change almost every record anyway. I've never seen a band that keeps a fan base and literally drastically changes their sound so much. So that's kind of the thing I was going to ask you about too, is do you find it hard to get a core fan base, being that your songs differ so drastically from one track to the next? Like there's uniformity, but I mean, you literally have pop songs and then metalcore songs, like, and they're not mixed together. Like there are some times where there are straight out just pop melodies for 4 minutes. So is it tough to find a real fan base that way, or are you finding a core audience for that?
I would say that it could be like a result of streaming services and how people have a larger access to music. So like a music collector no longer is limited by how many CDs they have. They now have everything at their fingertips, meaning that like, of course, people are going to start combining these things together, and like people are going to maybe want that, we hope.
Yeah, I mean, shows and stuff especially, I mean, we've got like, our fans are just the best. Like I can guarantee if you come to one of the shows, you walk into the venue and you've just got like a variety of people and they're all having a good time, and that's what we're all about, man. I mean, if you like the pop stuff, you're there for the pop stuff. If you like the heavier stuff, I mean, we like to think that the atmosphere is kind of, you know, just enjoy yourself, have a good time. We're all friends sort of here, and we want people to, maybe the people that like the pop stuff more, when you're in that sort of atmosphere and you're in the zone, and then you come in with it, it's like, and you just start going crazy. They kind of like, you know, like, yeah, I can kind of dig this right now. And I think vice versa for the guys who maybe in the...
Of course, yeah, it makes the heavy stuff heavier and the pop stuff a bit more hard hitting in its own right.
I love variety. See, I like a bit of everything in me, and I think it's just a really good way to go around it. You know, it's a bit of everything for everyone.
Awesome. So as far as the writing process goes, do you write the music more first? Do lyrics come first? Like, how is the way? Do you have a like maybe a theme for the entire record, and then that's how the music is arranged? Like, it seems very difficult for a band like yourself that you couldn't have a theme, because there's highs and lows, peaks and valleys throughout the entire record. It almost feels like there's a story pre-written, and you're kind of working your way through it. How do you arrange or write these tracks?
So the album, the new stuff we're working on at the moment is kind of different. With regards to the album, the way I like to explain it, I mean, it's kind of just a collection of songs. What we're really writing about is just life and just kind of going through it at the moment. So that's why they kind of think they vary quite a lot and they're quite different, simply because of the fact they were all written through different periods of, you know, growing up and having different experiences and meeting new people, going new places and having all this sort of build up. And I think that really reflects, especially with regards to the album. So the kind of idea of it is, you know, it kind of just shows the different emotions you go through and sort of life experience. And I think with the new stuff, it also represents that, although the sort of writing sort of style has changed, because now we're all kind of pitching in with different ideas.
Yeah,
and
now it's like more a process of reiteration. So like there's like a core, someone comes up with something, I don't know, like this that'll be other than like we pitch in, create like a skeleton and then just reiterate it until it's kind of like, it feels like untangible, I guess, then. But I guess that probably happens a lot naturally as well with the older stuff, like because you know, as a band jamming stuff in a practice room over and over again, you're basically reiterating it, and eventually it becomes very melded, and hopefully it becomes harder to pick apart and be like, oh, they wrote the vocals first, or they wrote that first, or yeah, that's the guitar riff for number one, or something. I don't know.
Cool.
yeah,
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think the new stuff, like as we're getting older, you know, we're doing new things are happening within life, and so there's definitely going to be some new music that are very different styles, I think, to what we've released previously, but yet still reflecting our roots at the same time. So like you said, it's just kind of writing as we go through life, and it's just telling our story, I guess. It's just the story of Sydney Fate. It's like the kind of album as it goes on.
Gotcha. Cool. So I only got a couple more for you. The next question I'm going to ask is, why the name Sydney Fate? Like there's got to be a reason behind this, because you're telling me there's heartache, heartbreak, there's a lot of things going on. Like, give me the whole story on why the band's named this.
Okay, so at first it meant absolutely nothing. It was nothing. We had
That's
booked.
like this photo you found, right?
Oh yeah,
So like I guess it was always rooted in like this random childhood nostalgia.
yeah.
From like this random, I don't know, Bailey showed me this picture he had, and it's got like this cropped text in the side that said Sydney Fate.
No, just Sydney.
Okay.
So we had booked a show. Yeah, we had booked a show. Almost right. But we didn't have a band name, and it was like in a week's time, and we just started up, and we were like, yeah, you know, we got some covers, let's just jump into it. And we were like, we're in this group chat on Facebook, like, okay, so we need a name. Like, what are we going to call ourselves? And we're all throwing names in. And I got this picture of myself and one of my best friends from like primary school, maybe a bit older. And like the picture said Sydney on it. And I was a big fan of like Escape the Fate at the time. And I was like, yeah, Sydney Fate, yeah, just throw that in. And so it was meant to be, believe it or not, it was just meant to be a temporary name. We're like, yeah, we'll pick this for now. We'll do the show. We'll regroup. We'll have a chat. And as time went on, so sort of members came and went, and you know, we were on and off, and we kind of got stuck with the name. And then when we actually went to go record those demos where Adam come up, I actually got the name tattooed on my ankle after a few drinks the night before, and feeling sorry for myself the next day. And now I was kind of like branded with it, and I'm like stuck with it. So we were just like, yeah, we're not going to change that now. It's stuck with us. And I think the more shows we ended up doing, then the more people we ended up meeting, the more amazing bands we played with. Sydney Fate kind of become like, because it started we started off so young, so it's kind of like been our childhood, been our teen years. It's been every good experience from every great show and every fan you've met and every friend that's come to support you. It's become like this big, huge sort of family, I'd say. So it's kind of beautiful to kind of take something that realistically at the beginning it didn't mean anything at all, yet now it has such a sentimental value. It's quite insane. So that's kind of the meaning, and that's what the kind of message we want to put out as well. So it's quite powerful for us, because It's like, yeah, we came from nothing, but you know, we're doing our best, and it's all about the memories, you know. Simple as. Cool.
Awesome. So my last question is, and it's to both of you, and I kind of want an answer from both of you. If there was one record that people would be surprised that you own, what would it be, and who is it?
All right. Do you want to go first, or should I go
you
first?
You go first.
All right,
I
cool.
got so many. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna go out there and just, I have actually got the Justin Bieber Purpose album. A lot of people don't know this, but I think that album is absolutely fantastic.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm throwing that out there right now. It's not metal. It's not, any of the other stuff we listen to.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I do listen to it every now and then too. I think there's some really cool songs in that one.
Cool.
It is, yeah, it's a bit different. Not many people expect that, I don't think.
Well, I don't own it, but I stream it a lot. It's 100 gex, and the album's 1,000 gex, or it's the other way around. I can't never remember. It's I can't even explain it. It's something I recommend to you. You'll either be in love with it or extremely offended by it straight away. Like, it is extreme music, but not in a very metal way.
Cool. I'll check it out for sure. Again, thank you very much for the interview. Really do appreciate it, guys. Like, it's been an absolute pleasure. Do you want to say anything to your fans before I let you go?
Thank you for supporting us throughout this really difficult time, and we can't wait to hit the stage soon and see everyone and grab a few drinks, which will be awesome. Thank you very much.
I know. Can't wait for everything to open.
Yeah, can't wait for things to open again as well. That'd be great. But yeah, thank you for the support. It's been amazing.
Thank you
very much for having us on the show too, man. It's been really cool chatting with you. So thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Again, we were just talking to Sydney Fate. Thank you very much, guys. Clint from the Doorway too. Thank you. See you later, guys.
Thank you.
Very much. Take it easy. All right.